Vanessa Piunno, the girlfriend of Auston Matthews, broke her silence only days after the Olympic final in Milan. The Instagram post showed Matthews celebrating his gold medal with her standing beside him. The caption was short, but the photos confirmed the relationship publicly for the first time. Within hours, the images were spreading across hockey coverage and social media. Auston Matthews entered the 2026 Winter Olympics as captain of Team USA. The tournament took place in Milan, Italy. The United States advanced through the competition and reached the gold medal game against Canada. The final game ended in overtime. Team USA defeated Canada 2-1 to win the Olympic title. The victory delivered the first Olympic gold medal for the United States men's hockey team in 46 years. Matthews played an important role during the tournament. He recorded 3 goals and 4 assists across the Olympic Games. His performance placed him among the leading contributors for Team USA during the event. Images from Milan showed Matthews celebrating the victory with teammates on the ice. The medal ceremony followed the final game. Matthews stood at center ice wearing the gold medal around his neck. At that moment, the story surrounding Matthews focused on the Olympic victory. But only a short time later, another development appeared online. Vanessa Piunno posted photos on Instagram from Milan. The images showed Matthews standing beside her while still wearing the Olympic gold medal. The post included a short caption, "A month to remember forever." The photos confirmed something that had not been publicly discussed before. They showed Matthews and Piunno together during the Olympic celebration. The images spread quickly across hockey coverage and social media platforms. Fans began sharing the photos soon after they appeared online. For many followers of the Maple Leafs captain, the post represented the first public confirmation of the relationship. And that is where the story connects back to the title. Because the moment fans describe as Piu, no breaking silence came directly from that Instagram post. Matthews had rarely spoken publicly about his personal life. Earlier reports had linked him to Emily Rutledge, a therapist based in California. However, Matthews had not publicly discussed that relationship in detail. Because of that history, the Milan photos stood out. They showed a personal moment that had not been visible before. The Olympic tournament had just ended. Team USA had just defeated Canada in the final, and Matthews had just stood on the ice holding a gold medal. Then the photos appeared online. They showed Matthews smiling while standing beside Piunno during the celebration in Milan. The Olympic medal remained visible in several of the images. Fans quickly began reacting in the comment section of the post. Many congratulated Matthews for both the Olympic victory and the moment shared in the photo. The reaction spread quickly across sports media outlets. But there was another reason the moment gained attention. Matthews has built a reputation for keeping his personal life private. Throughout most of his NHL career, he has focused public attention on hockey. That approach made the Milan photos unusual. They showed a side of Matthews that had rarely appeared publicly before. And that brings the story back again to the title. Because the post from Piunno acted as the first public confirmation of the relationship. The caption remained simple: "A month to remember forever." The message referred to the period surrounding the Olympic tournament. But the images also showed the celebration that followed the gold medal victory. At the same time, Matthews continued preparing to return to the NHL schedule. The Olympic tournament took place during a break in the NHL season. After the event ended, Matthews returned to Toronto to rejoin the Maple Leafs. The NHL schedule resumed soon after the Olympic Games concluded. Matthews entered the Olympic break as one of the leading offensive players on the Maple Leafs roster. During the 2025-2026 season, he recorded 26 goals and 25 assists in 55 games. Those numbers placed him among the team's top scorers. Earlier in January 2026, Matthews had also reached a major milestone with the franchise. He scored his 421st career goal for the Toronto Maple Leafs. That goal made him the all-time leader in goals for the organization. The previous record belonged to Mats Sundin. Matthews reached the milestone in 664 NHL games. The achievement strengthened his role as one of the most important players in the history of the franchise. Matthews also carries one of the largest contracts in the league. His deal with the Maple Leafs carries an annual value of $13.25 million and runs through the 2027-2028 NHL season. That contract reflects his position as the central player on the Toronto roster. Because of that role, events connected to Matthews often draw attention from fans and media. The Milan photos became one of those moments. They appeared during the same week as the Olympic victory. They showed Matthews standing beside Piunno while celebrating the gold medal. And the caption attached to the photos remained short but clear: "A month to remember forever." The message stayed visible while fans continued sharing the images across social media. The photos captured 2 developments happening at the same time. One showed Matthews celebrating an Olympic championship with Team USA. The other revealed a personal relationship that had not been publicly confirmed before. Both events occurred within the same short period, and both became part of the story surrounding Auston Matthews during the 2026 hockey season.
Yeah, I thought we started better. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, just kind of lost it there. Just really disconnected throughout all 3 zones, and just bad, just fairly embarrassing, to be honest with you. It's just, not the way, we just have to we need to have more pride in our play, no matter where we're at, no matter what the situation is. We just have to have more pride in our game, and we didn't have that tonight.
Shockwaves hit the Toronto Maple Leafs locker room after a crushing 5-2 loss. Cameras were still rolling when the captain stepped forward and said words that no one expected to hear. Auston Matthews did not hold back. He called it fairly embarrassing. In that moment, everything shifted, and what he said next sent a stronger message than the score itself. The Toronto Maple Leafs lost 5-2 to the Ottawa Senators. It was their third straight loss. The defeat came after the Olympic break during a stretch where the team has struggled to regain rhythm. Ottawa scored early and controlled long portions of the game. Toronto allowed 5 goals and failed to close the gap. After the final horn, Auston Matthews spoke to reporters. His tone was direct and steady. He said, "Just bad, just fairly embarrassing, to be honest with you." The quote was reported by Reuters and repeated across national outlets. Matthews did not shift blame, and he focused on the team's overall effort. He continued with another clear message. "We need to have more pride in our play no matter where we are at, no matter what the situation is." That statement became a headline within minutes. The captain pointed to pride and accountability rather than tactics. His words addressed the entire group inside the room. The loss marked the third consecutive defeat for Toronto. During this stretch, the team allowed multiple goals in each game. Defensive coverage gaps appeared in key moments, and opponents converted scoring chances off turnover. Against Ottawa, those breakdowns led to sustained pressure in the defensive zone. Ottawa built momentum early in the game, and Toronto trailed after the first period. Attempts to respond in the second period did not change control of play. The Senators capitalized on defensive mistakes and extended their lead. Toronto's power play did not generate a shift in pace. Matthews also spoke about the mental toll of losing and said that losing like this definitely wears on you. That quote was published by multiple outlets, including The Score. It marked a rare public admission of frustration from the captain, and his comments reflected concern about consistency and performance. Toronto remains in the playoff race. Points lost during this skid have tightened the standing. Every game carries weight, and the 3-game losing streak has increased pressure on the roster and coaching staff. The Senators' victory added to that urgency. Matthews has been measured in past post-game interviews, but in this case, his language was stronger than usual. National coverage highlighted the difference in tone. The word embarrassing stood out and framed the performance in direct terms. The losing streak began immediately after the Olympic break. In those 3 games, Toronto surrendered multiple goals in each contest. Offensive production declined compared to earlier stretches of the season, and the margin between wins and losses narrowed. Each defeat added pressure to the standings. Matthews did not reference injuries or scheduling, and he did not mention officiating. His comments centered on effort and pride, and that focus stood out. As captain, his statements carry weight inside the room and across the organization. The remarks were delivered without hesitation. The Senators' win strengthened their position in the season series. Ottawa maintained control through disciplined neutral zone play, and Toronto struggled to generate consistent offensive pressure. The power play did not alter the outcome, and these details were outlined in multiple game reports, reinforcing the context behind Matthews' frustration. Head coach Craig Berube addressed the media separately, and reports indicated preparation would continue without public conflict. No teammate publicly disputed Matthews' comments, and the team moved into practice sessions with the next game approaching quickly. The schedule allowed little recovery time. Standings data showed Toronto still within playoff contention, but recent losses reduced separation from nearby teams. Points gained by rivals increased urgency, and each remaining game carries significance. Matthews' statement framed that reality in direct language. During the 3-game skid, defensive coverage lapses appeared in high traffic areas, and opponents created chances off rebounds and slot passes. Those patterns were cited in post-game summaries, and the Senators' 5-goal performance reflected that trend. The numbers aligned with the captain's assessment. Matthews' history with media availability has typically featured balanced evaluations, but this instance differed. National outlets highlighted the sharper tone, and the captain's call for more pride became the defining takeaway from the night. Practice resumed shortly after the loss, and focus turned to adjustments and preparation. The next performance will be measured against the captain's public challenge. His words remain part of the official record, and the response on the ice will determine how this moment is remembered.
Breaking now at noon, Pittsburgh Penguins captain Sidney Crosby is officially out. KDKA sports reporter Cassidy Wood is here in the studio with us this afternoon. Cassidy, this isn't just 1 or 2 games without Sid.
Yeah, that's right, Barry. Unfortunately, Sid will miss a minimum of 4 weeks now. Just not the news we wanted to hear today as the Penguins.
More bad news has just hit Sidney Crosby, and this time it could shake the entire Penguins season. The Olympic injury that forced him out of the gold medal game is now confirmed to sideline him for weeks. Pittsburgh has placed its captain on injured reserve. The timing is critical, the impact is immediate, and the consequences are still unfolding.
The Penguins return to the ice tomorrow after the Olympic break without Sidney Crosby. Crosby is out for at least 4 weeks. Fans have been waiting for news on his status since he was hurt while playing on the Canadian Olympic team.
Yeah, it really is, Christine. You know, especially when you consider that Sidney Crosby has really been an Iron Man for the last 4 years for the Pittsburgh Penguins. He has missed only 2 of their last 300 games, but that now is going to change today.
The Pittsburgh Penguins confirmed that Sidney Crosby will miss a minimum of 4 weeks because of a lower body injury. The injury happened during the 2026 Winter Olympics in Milan. Crosby was hurt in Canada's quarterfinal game against Czechia. He left the ice late in the second period after getting tangled along the boards and did not return to the game. After evaluation, the Penguins placed Crosby on injured reserve. The team announced the move following his return from Italy. Being heals, the 4-week timeline is the minimum. His status will depend on medical evaluations in the coming weeks. Crosby did not play in Canada's semifinal game against Finland. He also missed the gold medal game against the United States. Canada went on to lose the final 2-1 in overtime. Before the injury, Crosby recorded 6 points in 4 Olympic games. He was serving as captain of Team Canada during the tournament. After the gold medal game, Crosby spoke about the injury. He said he was pretty close to playing, but ultimately could not go. He also said he did not have an issue with the hit that led to the injury. According to reports, he credited the medical staff in Italy for giving him a chance to attempt a return. At the time of the injury, Crosby was leading the Penguins in scoring this season. Before the Olympic break, he had 27 goals and 32 assists in 56 games. Despite his age, he has remained one of Pittsburgh's top offensive producers. The Penguins entered the Olympic break with a 29-15-12 record. They were sitting in second place in the Metropolitan Division with 70 points. The team now faces a tight schedule over the next several weeks. Reports indicate Pittsburgh has 26 games remaining in the regular season, including a stretch of 15 games during the next 4 weeks, while Crosby is expected to be out. The following day, Canada's head coach said it was too soon to confirm Crosby's availability for the semifinal. Crosby did not dress for the semifinal matchup against Finland. Connor McDavid took over captain duties in his absence. Canada advanced to the gold medal game, but Crosby was again ruled out before the final against the United States. The United States defeated Canada 2-1 in overtime to win the gold medal. Crosby watched from the sidelines. His Olympic tournament ended with 6 points in 4 games. Those numbers included goals and assists from the opening round games before the injury. His absence in the medal rounds changed Canada's lineup structure. After returning to Pittsburgh, Crosby underwent further evaluation by the Penguins medical staff. The team confirmed the lower body injury and announced the minimum 4-week recovery period. Placement on injured reserve gives the organization roster flexibility, but confirms he will miss multiple regular season games. The timing affects a demanding portion of the Penguins schedule. Pittsburgh injured reserve. They also acquired defenseman Samuel Girard in a trade earlier this season, adding depth to the blue line. This marks one of the first Olympic tournaments with full NHL player participation since 2014. Crosby has a long Olympic history. He scored the gold medal winning goal for Canada in 2010. In 2026, he again served as team captain. His tournament ended early due to injury. Crosby is in the 21st season of his NHL career. He remains under contract with Pittsburgh and continues to produce at a point-per-game pace. His recovery timeline now becomes central to the Penguins' playoff positioning. Medical evaluations will determine when he can resume skating in practice. For now, Pittsburgh prepares to compete without its captain during a stretch that could define its season.
Yeah, Canada comes back. Yeah. They tie it in the second period, and then in overtime, it's Jack Hughes for the USA. Unbelievable.
It's so fitting that the game went to overtime because both of these teams, you know, the favorites coming into the tournament, were pushed to overtime earlier in the week in the quarters. So, I mean, I was hoping it would go to overtime for extra.
The golden goal ended a 46-year wait, and the celebration was loud. The images of Jack Hughes without his front teeth spread across the world within minutes, and less than 24 hours after overtime in Canada, Hughes delivered an update that shifted the focus away from the medal onto his condition. And that update carried consequences beyond the Olympic stage. Jack Hughes scored the overtime winner against Canada in the Olympic men's hockey final, and the goal secured the United States' first Olympic gold medal in men's hockey since 1980. The game ended in sudden death, and the final score was 2-1. One shot decided the championship as Hughes received the puck, released a quick shot, and beat the Canadian goaltender, and officials confirmed the goal immediately while Team USA left the bench in celebration. The victory ended a 46-year gold medal drought for U.S. men's hockey, and the last Olympic gold came in 1980 at Lake Placid. That team defeated the Soviet Union before winning gold, and this time, National Hockey League players led the roster, and Hughes' overtime goal placed him at the center of that historic moment. But the game carried another turning point earlier in regulation when Hughes lost multiple teeth after contact near the net. Broadcast footage showed visible damage and blood appeared on the ice as he skated to the bench for treatment, and medical staff evaluated him before he later returned to the game. There was no report of a concussion, and the injury involved dental trauma. Images of Hughes smiling without several front teeth spread across media platforms within minutes, and the moment became part of the Olympic coverage. Despite the injury, he continued to take shifts, and he did not leave the game permanently, and his return set up the final sequence in overtime. After the game, Hughes addressed reporters, and according to coverage from Sports Illustrated, he confirmed the damage and said, "I will get them fixed." That short statement carried weight because it confirmed that dental repair would be required, and it ended speculation about whether the injury was minor, since it was not temporary and it required follow-up treatment. Olympics.com reported that Hughes laughed off missing teeth after scoring the golden goal, and the article described him smiling during celebrations despite the visible loss of teeth. The report focused on the sequence from injury during regulation to return to play, and then the overtime winner, and that timeline became central to the story. A New Jersey oral surgeon later spoke to NJ Monthly about dental trauma in hockey, and the surgeon explained that injuries involving lost teeth often require procedures such as implants or reconstructive work. While the surgeon did not treat Hughes directly, the explanation outlined the seriousness of such damage and dental replacement is not immediate because it involves planning and medical care. The celebration on the ice continued long after the overtime goal, as Hughes skated with teammates, held the American flag, and wore the gold medal during the ceremony, while cameras continued to capture his missing teeth. The images symbolize both victory and injury, but the story did not end with the medal presentation. The focus shifted quickly after the medal ceremony, and attention moved from the overtime replay to Hughes' condition as his statement, "I will get them fixed," confirmed that dental procedures were ahead. That meant medical appointments and recovery steps, and it also meant questions about timing as the National Hockey League season prepares to resume. Hughes plays for the New Jersey Devils in the National Hockey League, and the Olympic tournament paused the NHL regular season while players are expected to return to their teams after international competition ends. Any confirmed injury draws attention, especially when it involves a top scorer, and dental trauma does not always prevent play, but treatment can require multiple visits. Sports Illustrated reported that Hughes shared a broken teeth update following the gold medal win, and he acknowledged the damage publicly, while the outlet confirmed he would undergo dental repair. No official timeline was provided in that report, and there was no announcement of missed games at that time, and the confirmed fact remained the need for corrective work. Newsweek also reported on Hughes' media appearance after the victory, and during one exchange, he shut down an awkward question from a reporter, and the interaction was brief. It redirected attention to hockey matters, and the report described the moment as firm and controlled, while that exchange circulated across social media and became part of the wider coverage around him. The New York Post published coverage describing Hughes as having cemented his place as an Olympic and American hero, and the article connected the overtime goal to the long gap since 1980. The framing focused on history and national impact, and emphasized that the United States had waited decades for this result, and the goal ended that drought in sudden death against Canada. The rivalry between the United States and Canada in hockey carries deep history, and Olympic matchups between the two nations often draw large audiences. An overtime final increased the pressure because one mistake could decide everything, and Hughes' shot ended the contest instantly, and that sequence elevated his profile beyond the National Hockey League season. Olympics.com documented that Hughes returned to play after losing his teeth and later scored the golden goal, and the report emphasized his ability to continue competing after visible injury. It detailed the progression from regulation damage to overtime victory, and that order of events defined the headline coverage. Medical experts speaking to NJ Monthly explained that dental injuries in hockey can involve fractures, displacement, or full loss of teeth, and treatment may include implants or reconstructive procedures. The recovery process depends on severity, and public reporting has not stated the exact number of teeth lost, while Hughes confirmed only that repairs are required. As Team USA celebrated its first men's Olympic hockey gold medal in 46 years, Hughes stood at the center of every frame, with the medal hanging around his neck and the missing teeth visible in every photograph. The overtime goal secured his place in the record books, and the confirmed dental repair added the next chapter to monitor as professional play resumes.
Is over.
It's been a really long time. We need to get best on best back at those big games where it's country against country and it becomes more than hockey.
Opening night of the Four Nations face-off.
Well, for me, it's celebrating.